Your hands together as we welcome Dr. Ugochukwu Chime.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ugochukwu Chime. He is a renowned business leader, real estate developer, and faith-based mentor. For over 3 decades, he has led with excellence and integrity in Nigeria's housing and business sector. As Group Managing Director and CEO of Copen Group, he has delivered landmark projects that redefine innovation and trust. He is also the convener of the Amadio Business Summit, a platform inspiring entrepreneurs and professionals to lead with purpose and impact. Today, he will be speaking to us on Shaping Tomorrow, the Power of Knowledge and Resilience. Please welcome Dr. Ugochukwu Chime.
To start off this event, you will clap like you respect him. You will clap like his authority is important. You will clap as if his experience matters. Keep clapping, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Thank you. Please do sit down. Please. I appreciate you so much. I want to thank God for the privilege that we have today to be here. And it's always an opportunity that I personally do not take for granted. Nothing in me qualifies me to have this privilege of standing here, but only for the grace of God that has made it possible to do that, so for which I'm extremely grateful. First of all, I want to thank all those who are part of this, and in particular my dear friend, Arin Zewana. I do remember some few years ago when we had an opportunity of organizing an event, and Arin volunteered to provide all the support that we will need. He went to pick up people at the airport. He went to do this. He went to do this. And I'm like, he was doing so much. So when he told me, please, that can I be available, I said yes. I had to reschedule a program I have in Abuja and shift it to next week so that I will be able to be here for him. Because not that they say that one good turn deserves another. But when you see upcoming people who have paid their dues and who are still paying their dues, the only support you can give to them is to support them. And I'm happy to be here. And I see my very good friend, Pastor Hanacho. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We have people in this city, and we have a commitment to make sure that as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another, we sharpen ourselves. And we demystify some of those things that people look at and say, oh, how can I get there? I've always not failed to share my vision that was empowered 24 years ago. I went to celebrate the city, so we all went there to enjoy with his father. And when I came in there, I saw what his father has attained at the age of 70. And I was 40 years old then, and I started dreaming. I said, oh God, how I wish I can be like this man, to have made impact and legacy, intergenerational impact. And I heard in my spirit man God telling me that you can intentionally write your history. You can intentionally write you have 30 years to get to that 70-year mark. You can surpass it. It changed the trajectory of everything I'm doing. For that time, I've been 6 years in the ministry. I was a civil servant from May 1980 to June 30, 1995. For 15 years, I was a civil servant and I resigned and started to do my own business by July 1, 1995. So that was at the 6th year of my business. And I got fired up and discovered that the limitation that I had placed over myself is only in my mind. It doesn't exist outside there. And I began to believe in God and believe in myself as his chosen and appointed one, in tandem with John chapter 15, verse 16. Said, I chose and appointed you. And that is why in all I do, in the new foundation we have called WATO, we are the ones that we've been waiting for to make the difference we desire for ourselves and others. That WATO foundation, of which you have the likes of Professor Chinedu Nebo, the likes of Maduko Onyishi, the likes of Juhel, the likes of Roban, the likes of Professor Ezilo, Professor Edith Nwosu, and so many others. WATO Foundation, we are the ones, and we are trying to craft something that will ignite, inspire people to attain to the possible best version of themselves and the most humongous impact they can make. Thank you so much for asking me to come around. I was asked to look at shaping tomorrow, the power of knowledge and resilience. Shaping tomorrow, the power of knowledge and resilience. Tomorrow is not a date. Tomorrow is a destination. It is being built today by our daily choices and disciplines. If we don't shape it, circumstances will shape it for us, because nature abhors vacuum. The future belongs to those who can see it before it arrives. Tomorrow rewards those who plan and build for it deliberately today, not those who drift into it accidentally. And that is when I was asked to speak about that shaping tomorrow. We needed to understand what tomorrow means. Tomorrow is not a date, it's a destination. You are traveling to tomorrow, today. What it means to shape is to influence, define, and structure outcomes deliberately. It is a proactive act, not a reactive one. Shaping requires knowledge, requires vision, and requires resilience. Shaping your tomorrow means building capacity, developing foresight, and refusing to go on autopilot. Resilience is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to endure and adapt. It thrives on discipline, diligence, and focus. It separates those who fail and stay down from those who fail and rise again. Resilience is the elasticity of the human spirit. It bends but does not break. Now, when we look at the power of knowledge, knowledge shapes destiny, and decisions determine destiny. But only relevant knowledge transforms. There are two realms of knowledge, the theoretical and the practical. But there's a convergence of both in the mind of one who is proactive, because theoretical reinforces practical, and practical gives vent to theoretical. So it is important that we know that the gap we have is in terms of information. If I didn't get fired up as a young man, that 2001, I would have remained trapped in my mind. I would have wasted the most precious item that we have, time. Whether you use time or not, time must continue to go. The most precious thing you have is time. The second most precious is mind. We shall look at it from John chapter 9, verse 24, when we go down the line. People know a lot. Like today, we are suffering from information overload, but not always the right things. Relevance is what makes knowledge powerful, not just idle knowledge. So, the knowledge that shapes tomorrow is the knowledge that truly identifies gaps in the environment, that is able to curate and understand the needs of the future, and also be able to understand the capacity required to meet those needs in terms of the systems and structure that you must create in your individual life, and the system and structure you must create in collaboration with other people. So that is the need of the future, the capacity. It is that knowledge that transforms insight into innovation and disruptive one at that. It demands analytical thinking and foresight at every stage of the process, not just in the beginning, because no idea comes forth fully formed. They are amended in the process of the execution. It is still about ideation, curation, implementation, review, monitoring, and reinvention. And it's a continuous cyclic process in life. So that nobody, no matter how highly placed, can say they have arrived. Otherwise, they will suffer the consequences of Nokia. We didn't do anything wrong, yet we lost out. So it is a continuous battle in life. The knowledge gap, many plan for today, few plan for tomorrow. That is why in this city you see a lot of people building hotels today. In the past, we saw so many of them building filling stations. And it's today you find people building plazas. And I look at some of the plazas and I ask myself, in 2004, 2005, we were building branches for a number of banks. A company was given the responsibility of building for Shonik. We built over 50 branches across the country for many banks. And I told them one thing. I told them that all these bank branches you are asking me to build for you, you are not building for the future, you are building for today. They say, no, this is what we want a big building. I said, no. The tomorrow in the banking industry is not going to be driven by physical presence. It's going to be driven by IT. That somebody can stay somewhere and transact with your bank. They disagree with me. And at the end of the day, the client is always right, quote and unquote. And we built for some of them. I look at FCMB at Garden Avenue. I spoke, they bought the land from me. They asked me to design for them, and I argue with them. The size of your vault is a wastage. Each of those banks, if they were building for tomorrow, a quarter of the size of the current buildings they have will have been more than enough. A quarter of the premises they have will have been more than enough. And that is what the likes of Produce Bank and all this OPay are catching in on. And I remember I still have some of the documents I wrote to them. You are wrong. Today, they found out that I was right and they were wrong. So many plan for today, like the banks and so many other institutions. So I'm not saying at the lower level. I just gave you an example of people who ought to know, but they didn't know, or they knew, but somebody was benefiting from the wastage of resources that were deployed over excess capacity. So many plan for today, few plan for tomorrow. Lack of foresight leads to stagnation and waste of resources and time. Businesses fail because they plan for survival and not for succession and future thriving. They plan competitively against one another, but they are not planning in concert with the future not yet seen, the path not trodden. Some years ago in 1999, a lot of people were rushing to Abuja, and they were having one thing in their mind. They say, anywhere they were talking. And they were looking at a number of factors. I, a student of political history, my first degree was in geography, my second degree was in surveying, geodesy, and photogrammetry. My third degree was in management, all of them from the University of Nigeria. And what came through to me that they were not doing an analysis. The Enugu I saw in 1999, I saw Enugu as a thriving city. I saw Enugu that doesn't have the geomorphological challenge of erosion of Oka, that doesn't have the challenges of Abakaliki, of locational disadvantage as a fringe location, that doesn't have so many of these things. It has an international airport. And I told them that Enugu gave a talk, but you needed to have the foresight to be able to acquire plants. So they were selling their land cheap. People were selling land, railway was selling their land. People were not interested. Some of these properties here were acquired in those realms. Some of us sold properties, land in Abuja, and came to acquire here. Because we have done our numbers for the tomorrow they didn't see. And that is why I'm happy to be here. The ability to project, analyze, and adapt is rare, yet crucial. It must be in the forefront of any of the endeavor you are involved in. Planning for the present is maintenance. Planning for tomorrow is leadership, and it is the place that all of us ought to be in. If you maintain, those who are growing and leading will leave you behind. The future of work and the work of the future involves technology and AI, and they are redefining relevance. We must ask, what will my sector look like in 10 years? What knowledge will remain useful and relevant? What human capacities cannot be replaced by AI? The future of work belongs to adaptive thinkers. AI won't take your job, but AI will make the next person who is equipped with AI to be better than you. And it is very, very important. In 2004, we bought over a community bank. We own a microfinance bank called Better Microfinance Bank. Some few years ago, I told them very clearly that we are left behind. I had a meeting with the chairman this morning because I'm no more on the board. And I told them we have a problem. I'm on the board of a mortgage bank. We have a problem. Most of the banks, like I told them in 2004, 2005, are planning for maintenance and competition amongst themselves. They are not planning for intersectoral competition. And until you plan for intersectoral competition and global relevance, your business will remain local, and yet your competitors who will come and outstrip you will be global. For some of you who are thinking of Japan, I have bad news for you. We're now going to have reverse migration. Some of the people that I met in UK are planning to come back because they have realized that this place is more competitive than the places where they are. If they put 50% of the diligence and discipline they put there, they will earn 100% more. And they are planning to come back. The question that you should ask yourself in this Mind Shift conference, how prepared are you going to be to compete with these global warriors who have been equipped with the mindset of systems that work far better, that are disciplined and are determined? So the issue is not competition with those who are here now, but competition with those who will come back when we are going to have reverse migration. Now, there are three critical dimensions of knowledge. Knowledge of the problem, what must be solved, what is the gap in the sector, on the place that you operate in. You must have to have knowledge of that. And the second part is knowledge of yourself. There are certain areas of business that I can never operate in. I can never have a school. I don't want to have a school because I don't have the competence to run that. You must be able to know what it is. Some people say, oh, real estate is very difficult. Being in so many areas of training is difficult. But that is, I have a good knowledge of myself. I'm restless. I want to have new dimensions of challenge. And each project gives me a new set of challenges that I'm delighted in solving. And the third knowledge is knowledge of your capacity and the capacity of your colleagues. To be able to define how you will apply this knowledge compositely to be able to deliver results that will make your institution or your person a destination of choice for those who are looking for solutions in that area. So success isn't just about knowing what is wrong. It's about knowing what you can do about it, when you can do it, and with what you can move in. Now, knowledge alone is not enough because no business is more than any business that you are entering into is bound to have challenges. I've been involved in the business of selling cement. I've been involved in the business of molding block. So while I was molding block, I did my calculations. I had a block industry in 1994, 95, 96 in New Haven. And I told myself, I did an analysis of the carrying capacity of the business to carry my family and carry my needs. And I found out that even if I have the whole of the stadium as my place where I would display my block, I mold my block, it cannot carry my capacity. And therefore, I needed to retool. In any sector, those who make the highest amount of money in any sector are not those who are dealing with their energy. In the agricultural subsector, those who make more money are those who are in the produce boards in East London. They are the ones that determine with a set of variables whether El Nino will happen in Ukraine or there will be war. And therefore, they make adjustments and they do pricing. They even buy products that are still 7 years to be produced. The people who are the poorest are the farmers. The next poorest in the agricultural scheme are the middlemen, and up there to the banks, and then those who sit on the produce board, who buy products that will be wheat that will be produced 4 years from now, based on what they know. The question I ask all of us in this mind shift, where do you want to practice? Where do you want to be? That's why in my organization we took our time. I don't own a tipper. I don't own a block molding industry. I like to be at the top. I don't want to be a contractor building houses. I'm a developer. As an orchestra director, that little man with a small stick that is directing people, once they point at you, you play your trombone. Once they point at you, you play your own instrument. That is who you should all want to be like eventually. Are we together? You must have to. So you need both knowledge and resilience to make impact. Knowledge gives direction, relevance gives momentum. Without resilience, knowledge is wasted because every challenge becomes the obstacle that will net you off. But with resilience, every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Without discipline, resilience is misdirected effort. Together, they create sustainable transformation. Resilience turns theory into legacy because of the perseverance that is involved in it. From knowledge to action, you translate insight into strategy. I can tell you, in the sector where I operate, it took me years. I was a consultant to UNDP, World Bank from 1995, 96, 97. Became a consultant to Federal Mortgage Bank in 2005. As a consultant, built 500 housing units in 2002 in Jalingo, Blue Roof, my sis area. But I saw a gap in the building industry. I saw that people were not doing it properly. And the first project I did, they carried me to ICPC. They say I'm a bad debtor, Federal Mortgage Bank. I had way. Even people around me told me to give up and leave the sector. After I built Bethel Estate in 2007, 2008, I said I'm not leaving this sector. That means all my suffering is gone to waste. Rather, I should recalibrate and be resilient and turn those challenges, those suffering, those tears into a new paradigm that will fly higher. Because every aircraft and every bird flies against contrary wind. And that's why we now did all those things and went into Goshen Estate. And that was the first driving. I don't know where you are in your project line, but you must be able to develop that. The capacity to be resilient. Now, developing a mind shift culture makes you to move from learning towards strategic thinking. Learning is not enough. Learning is applied to solutions and gaps you see to produce strategic thought processes that, when well crafted with a roadmap and a program of work, will lead to the success you desire. So most people teach what they know or how they think, but we must build a culture where mistakes becomes learning, where mentorship produces structure, and where growth produces continuity. So a mind shift is not a slogan, it's a call to discipline and diligence. So when you talk of mind shift, it's not a slogan, no. It is a call to discipline and diligence of the mind to be able to produce that which we need. We must be able to build future relevance by asking ourselves daily, what skills will define the industry where I'm involved in? How am I preparing for them today? For instance, now, we are building an app. We have trained in system and Copenhagen Academy over 30,000 artisans across the country. We are building an app like Uber so that you don't no more look for plumbers and they say plumber wanted, you go and copy a number there and invite a thief into your house. No, we are trying to build something. We're going to roll out that app next year that will enable you to be able to call an Uber, or call a plumber, or call an electrician from the comfort of your house and be sure that this person has been vetted security-wise and competence-wise. That is the gap we saw, and we are working on it steadily for the past 3 years. So the future has no vacancies. It only rewards preparedness. And there are many outside of you who are looking for that. As I'm speaking what I'm speaking now, I know that some people are planning to do the same thing I'm doing. The first person who is the market first with a very good product, MVP product, most of the will be the one that will hit the market and clean out. And his product will be named after it. The future has no vacancies. There is no space for spectators in the future. Only participants who prepare and are well prepared. So, for us, apart from noticing the gap, there's need for self-awareness, there's need for capacity, there's need for network, there's need for resilience, and need for vision. And for each of them, I try to define the action steps that will define and move us to that. In shaping a tomorrow, not a feeling. You must learn, unlearn, and relearn continuously. In my office, we told ourselves we are learning and teaching machine. You not only learn, you must teach in order to put it in. The cost of inaction is very huge. If we fail to shape tomorrow by shaping our mind and proactively and resiliently engaging in executing that which we have thought of, we will lose out. Others will shape it for us. If we don't prepare, circumstances will assign to us roles and relevance that are contrary to that which we want. The cost of ignorance of today is irrelevance tomorrow. My dears, your future is too important to be ignored or to be outsourced to others. I'd like to close with the word of Scripture. Because if I don't do that, people will say, I thought it's this man that came here today. The word of God in John chapter 9, verse 4 states clearly, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said, I must walk the works of him who sent me while it is today. The night is coming when no one can walk. There are 5 key considerations from that scripture that have driven my work relentlessly. Number 1, I must walk. It's not optional. You must walk. Number 2, the work of him who sent you. There is a work that God has ordained for you. It's unique and assigned. You have to find it. Number 3, why it is still there. Because there comes a time you will no more be there. I'm happy to be here. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe I will not be able to come. Even if I'm speaking, I'll be speaking. So there's a tendency for this one. Some people will fall asleep. My voice will no more carry very well. I hope you understand. So I have to. Number 4, night is coming, whether you like it or not. There's a time, and when night comes, you discover that you don't have the opportunity. You've lost opportunity. And there comes a time when no more you can walk. It is important for you us to know something that moves me to be involved in mentoring. The company where I work, called Copen, I'm a staff of Copen. And in that company, we told ourselves some few truths. I told myself, when I did an analysis, the greatest period in our life for productivity is between 60 to 70. The second greatest period for productivity is between 70 to 80. The third one is between 50 to 60. You ask why? Because of one simple thing. Because we grow old too soon and wise too late. But at that age, you have acquired resources, contacts, influence, knowledge. And when you work at it through people collaboratively, you find out that you make a lot of difference. And that is why the threefold vision that God gave to us, number one is mentoring. Therefore, my job is to make sure that I operate intergenerationally through mentorship, succession planning, and role modeling for those who are after me. They are coming. My replacements are already here. And my aim is to make sure that I prepare them very, very well so that they can stand on the shoulder of the things that I know and the things that I have done to be able to make a difference and be a globally competitive warriors in whatever sphere they are operating in. So, we must be deliberate about the knowledge we seek. We must be deliberate and disciplined and diligent in our resilience. We must be intentional about building the future we desire. Tomorrow doesn't belong to the strongest or the fastest. It belongs to the most prepared. And the key question for all of us, for me, because I'm not speaking to you as one who have attained. I'm speaking to you as one who is trying to struggle because there's a contrary wind I must overcome to climb higher. Whether it is here, what is my vision? My vision is to have as many people, as many young ones that I've impacted. That's why I chose to go and God led me to go and worship in Enugu campus. 2018. He said, every year, thousands of young boys come out, young girls come out of this institution. Can you see that it's a good minefield to make impact for me? Do you know that some of them who know you as the group managing director of Copen, know you as past president of HESIMA, past president of real estate developers, as this and this, they are passing through the campus. Do you know that if you follow them and usher, if you follow them to eat, if you follow them to do a number of things, they will be fully inspired. They will be leaving the campus inspired because they were at their mentorable age. And therefore they come out prepared. When they are going through life, as God is lifting them, they can learn to be humble. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the opportunity that you have given me to come today. And once more, as I close, I want to thank Arinze. I appreciate you so much. And I can assure you that I'm available for you. And I want to thank all my other speakers and thank you, Pastor Sam. Thank you for being here and being always available. God bless you and thank you so much.
Can we have the award, please? Can we have the award? Where is the award? Where is the award? Quickly, smartly bring it forward. Yes. Please, sir. Thank you very much, sir. These opportunities we have to appreciate those who have done well for us. Arinze, come on, small boy. Come and stand there. Your father is calling you. Thank you very much, sir, for honoring us. This is a little... Yes, can we move this podium so that we can carefully carry it? Thank you very much. Yes, they say come, you're his replacements. Organize your somebody. Hi, big boy.
This is an award presented to Ugochukwu Chime from One Arinze Foundation, Manship Trailblazer Award. Thank you, sir, for all you do.
I think you will want to clap better than that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. One more time, a round of applause for Dr. Ugochukwu Chime and that wonderful presentation. Okay, who wants more? Who wants more? Who is satisfied? Can we go home now? Can we go home now? All right. I'd like to